Hi and welcome. My name's Tolan. I'm the co-founder of Productivity Neat. In this video, we're going to look at how to use the different page layouts and understand a little bit better the idea of page breaks. So with that, let's get started. If you want to follow along, go ahead and download exercise file 12.06. You can find a link to this in the description of our video. So we've touched on this a little bit earlier in the course, perhaps even a couple of times, but here on the status bar, you have three different views. Here on the right-hand side, you have normal, what is called page layout, which will display things like headers and footers if you have them, and then things like page break view. So a page break is essentially this indicated by this little dotted blue line, or at least it's dotted in blue, maybe it's dashed in blue on my screen, and it will basically show you where Excel is planning on starting a new page. So here after row 47, Excel is going to start a new page and begin with 385A83 and Mary Polensky. And then here on the other side, we can see that there's going to be a break between what is the department and the email. Now, you can also get to these individual views by going to the View tab. And then here we have normal, page break, and page layout, which is a slightly different order than here. We have normal, page layout, and page break, but whichever order you want is totally fine. The normal view is going to be the view that you spend the most of your time in. It's going to be where you can see and do changes and calculations and modify your inputs. When you go to the page break view, you're going to be able to see single or multiple columns, and you're going to be able to see kind of where the page is planning on splitting. When we go to page layout, this is, again, as we mentioned, where you can either see and or modify things like headers, footers. You can see the changes in margins here. So there's different uses for these three sets. You can also create what's a custom view. So say that we had a table here, and the table was something like sales data 2015. Maybe this was over, we'll do five quarters. So just bear with me, but let's say that this was merged, and then here we had something like north, south, east, and west, and then here we had maybe 2012, 2013. I guess it actually would make more sense to have quarter one, quarter two, quarter three, and quarter four. Let's say that we just had some numbers in here, and we had this table, right? So this was considered a table, or I guess just formatted. If you wanted to, you could create a custom view by going to the View tab and then maybe zooming in, and going to Custom View. You could say you would add a view called Zoomed, press Enter, and then that would be fine. When you zoom out on your normal view, you can go back to Custom View. Let's zoom way out. Go to Custom View, you want to show your zoom view, and it would automatically go to the same level of zoom. Or there's different applications that you can do, but creating custom views is definitely one of those. You can then delete it if you so choose. I'm not going to delete it, but anyway, so we have our normal view, we have our page layout, and then our page break and our page layout. Let's go and spend a little bit of time on the page break view here on the employee reference sheet long. If and when we go to page layout, you notice these things of the headers. And if you wanted everything to fit on one single page, you can actually go to page layout, and then you can have, say, your width so that all of your columns automatically fit on one page. You'll notice that the scaling will then change. You can actually have it where your height fits on a specific amount of pages. Let's say that it fits on 4 pages. And then you could add something like you want it to fit all on 1 page. Then when we go to File and then Print, you'd see what it will look like. It's essentially going to be a 77% ratio of the original height. You can then change those back to automatic if you want. Another thing that you can do, let's change this to 100. You can go to your View tab and then Page Break, and you can actually put your cursor between the 2 areas that your Excel application is planning on splitting. So in this case, it would be column G and column H. You can drag that page break over, and in many cases, you can drag it over and then it will disappear. And then in that case, you go to Control Print and you'd be able to fit that last column on. However, that too, you'll notice, has a certain amount of scaling applied to it. You could also adjust these page break views so that if you were to adjust it way up, you might see what happens. Control P. So this page has fewer entries than these other pages. So that, in a kind of a nutshell, is the idea of the 3 different views, or I guess 4 different views: normal, page break, page layout, and custom view. Here we had a custom view of a zoom, high-level zoom. We then discussed the idea of the different views, particularly page layout, and how you can adjust the page break. So if you wanted to split a page and make it smaller, you could do that. And then when you go to print, it would modify it in that way. So that covers our discussion on printing. In our next section, we'll discuss the idea of security and sharing. More specifically, we'll look at locking and unlocking both worksheets, cells, and workbooks. And then finally, we'll discuss how you can share and or track changes within a specific workbook. So join us for that in the next section, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching.